Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So we are going to proceed with our help desk management system. As you can see, this is our login page. So I'm going to log in to our application. So here we are able to see that we had done some work on tickets. So we have our dashboard here. We have our tickets whereby you can create a new ticket, then have the title, provide the description, the status of the ticket, the priority, whether it's urgent, then hardware, then you are able to select the subcategories. So if I choose mouse and create, then you can see that our ticket details has been added. Then under comments, you can also add a new comment and you can tie this comment to a ticket. So you can see then if I click create, then my ticket is automatically, that is the comment is automatically added. So you can see this is a list of our comments. Then you have the categories. You can add a category. So you can choose here the category that I want to add. So if I just choose, let's say this is our audit logs. So just do that. If I create, then you can see these are some of the details that are added. So you have the category description, the person who created, and the date and time. Then you can be able to see the subcategories. So on our subcategories, you can actually click on subcategories, and each of the category has a subcategory. You can see we have these tickets. So the hardware tickets, we have the subcategory called mouse issues, UPS, hard disk, and the shredder issues. So then we have all the subcategories list. You can see all the subcategories here. Then you have the audit trails. So everything you are doing on our application, we are able to track it via the audit trails module. Then we have, we'll be covering the error logs in some video next as we are doing this application. Then you have the system users. These are the users that are able to log in with the application. So you can add a new user. You can see first name, middle name, last name, gender, email, phone number, city, country, username, and password. Then you have the system codes. So these are some of the options that you are able to do with. You see, we have the statuses, you can do priority and even gender. Then the system code details now gives us the specific options for all those system codes. So on our today's video, under the tickets, when you're creating ticket, you can see we are allowing users to choose the status and the priority. But I don't want us to do that. I want us to ensure that whenever we are creating the tickets, we want the status and the priority. So you can have users choosing the priority, but the status, we should always assign the status in the background. So let's just go and do that. So on our project, under the ticket, so I'm going to the ticket. So let me just close this. So then I'm going to system, that is the tickets create. Then I'm going to remove the status. So we are not going to be allowing users to add the status. Then I'm going to change our priority to be a drop down. So I'm going to copy the one for category, just replicate here. Then you can say this is a priority. So I'll say priority. But now, before even doing priority, I want us to change this. So this priority will be, so let's go to our model first. There's something I want us to change. You see, this priority is actually a string, but I want us to change this and ensure that we are actually saving a priority as an int, because this will be a drop down from another table. So you can say priority ID. Then you can say this is a system, so it will be getting the values from there. So this will be system code detail. Then you can say this is priority. So if you do that, I'm sure we'll be having some errors. So let's go to our tickets. Under create, this should be our priority ID. This is ID. So you can change this to be priority ID. So I'm not sure if, yes. So let's just change also this create. That is the ticket. You can say, so you can have this as, so you can say priority ID. And you can say this is int. So if we do that, then we can always change that here on our create. So this error should be gone. Then we have, so you can remove this. Then this will be our priority ID. Then we have a viewbag dot priority ID. Then we'll say select priority. So this is now. So on our delete as well, we can change that to be priority ID. I'm sure it will be having an issue. So let's just do that. Then also for the details, if we don't change, we'll get an error. So I'm going to change that to priority ID. As well on editing, we'll have to, so yeah, I think we don't have that priority. Yes, we have it here. So if we change that, then that should be cool. Then under index, we'll be having this. Then also priority ID. But now, whenever we've changed the ticket, you can see we've changed our ticket from priority ID to now converted this to a foreign key, which is getting the values from our system code details. So we need now to add modify our table. So I'm going to do NuGet package manager console. Then I'm going to add migrations. So for those who are watching this video and you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. So I'll just now add migration. So I'll say add migration, then say priority, ticket priority. So let's say ticket priority details. So if we do that and press enter, then our ticket, so our migration file will be generated, and we are going to now update this to our database so that we have those details. But now we might get some errors because we already have some details. So let's just build. So the reason as to why we are getting errors, you'll note that we have been using that particular field. So let me just rebuild, then we rectify where there is errors. So you can see we have an error on this side. So here we'll say priority ID. So there we go. And here we can also say priority ID. So if we do that, then that's okay. Let me also try to rebuild. So if I rebuild, so let's just check our project to ensure it's okay before we add migration. So everything is cool. So let's add migration again. So if I create add migration, so in case you get a build failed, then you can just rebuild your project, then see if there's any issues before doing anything. So you can see our migration has been added, and you can see it is actually going to drop the column, and it will add another column. So if we now update our database, so let's just try to update, let's try to update our database. So we'll just do update database. So if you press enter, then our column will now be changed to priority ID. So let's just wait and see if there is any issue. We address it. Yes, you can see the alter table system contain that the conflict occurred table column ID. So what I want us to do, let's go back to our table, and I'm going to, so call it that is our database. So this table is we are going to have it as tickets. So let's just see what is the issue. The conflict occur in database table system code details column ID. So let's just do this. So let's first remove the migration. So you can remove the migration using that command. So this will remove the latest migration. Then I want us to go to our application DB context. Then here, I want us to copy this. And here I want us to have, so we can do this. So here, sorry. So let me just push this back. Then here we can say ticket. So if I do that, then I can say priority, then you can say priority ID. So then we can have restrict. So that has removed our migration. We can now add the migration using our previous command, add ticket priority details. So if you add that, then our migration file will be generated. Then we are going to update our database. So let's just update our database again. Update the database. So if there is an issue, So that this particular code that we've just added should be able to address that particular error. So as you can see, we are still getting the conflict. So these are the data that we have. So the reason as to why we have this is actually the data. So let me just show you what is happening. So if we just access our database, remember how we have been creating our application and the tickets? So these are some of the details that we have. You see the priority ID, we have been having this priority ID and it is actually showing some values. So what I want us to do, I want us to change these details. So I want us to remove these particular tickets details. So let's just say delete from that. So we're going to drop all the tickets details. So there is a conflict on the comments. So let's drop the comments as well, because I don't want us to have the nullable. So I don't want us to have the nullable values. So I'm going to have the comments. So I'm going to delete everything from the comments. Then I can also delete everything from the tickets. So that's it. So after that, let's clear this because we don't have any data. Sorry. So because we don't have any data now, our update database should work. So you can see that is okay. You can see that is done. So we now have our priority ID, and that priority ID should be a drop down. So if you go to the tickets now, we have our priority ID, select priority, and we should be able to define this particular view bag. So how do we do that? So let's go to tickets controller, then under create action, we should be able to define this particular section. So we do view data, then our priority ID here. So let's just remove that. Then, then we'll be able to have this. So let's just do that. Then here we now get the system code details. But before doing that, we should also do .include. We say x equals to x dot system code. Then here we are going to say dot where we are not getting all the system codes. So if I just do this, let me just show you what will happen. So if we just do this and we say description, so we want to see the description. And let's launch our project so that you see. So let me also copy this and just paste it down here because we should also be having that particular option here. So if I relaunch our project, let's just relaunch our project and you see what happens. It will actually give us all the system code options, which we only need the priority options. Remember when we are creating our system code details, we have other options like the gender, we have like the statuses and the others. So if I go to our system codes, just to show you, we have these statuses and we also have the priority. But I don't know if we had created the priority status. You see these priorities, we have not created the priorities. So we should be able now to define the priority of the tickets and how they are defined. So I want us to create now these priorities. So if I click on system code details, add new, I should be able to say maybe urgent. We'll say, so these are some of the priorities. I say urgent, I say urgent ticket. So we say this is the first one, and these are the system ticket priorities. So if I create, I'll be able to have my ticket as a priority. Then I can say very urgent. Then I'll say this is very urgent tickets. So I'll say tickets, this is the second one, and these are the priorities. Then I can say medium. So I'll say medium tickets. This is the third one, and you can have it here. Then you can say highly, can say what other, can say we can actually have those three. You can say medium, urgent, very urgent, medium tickets. Then we can say, so these are the options. So if we go to tickets and try to add a new ticket, you'll notice that under priorities, we have everything. So we have the pending ticket, and these are the statuses. These are the, you see, we have the pending, awaiting, this, so it has actually mixed up everything. So we don't want to have this kind of drop down. We should only able to see the priorities in our system code details. You see, on our system code details, we have the pending, which are actually ticket statuses, and we have the priorities, system ticket priorities. So we should only be able to see these three. So how do we do that? Our ticket priorities code is dot, that is the priority. So if we want to see that, we can go to system here. Then here we can actually do something. We can say dot where, then we say x, so equals to, we say x dot system code. So you can say system code equals to, we do that. So you can say system code dot code. Just do system code dot code equals to priority. So if we do that, then we will not only be able to get the options for the priority. So I'm also going to replace the one we had pasted down here so that we get the correct options. So let me just now launch our project so that you're able to see those particular tickets. So we've been able now to create all these options. So we should be able to add the tickets. So if I just click here, then I'm going to go to, so let's just go to tickets. So if I add a new ticket, then I should be able to see the priority. I should only see the three. You see, urgent ticket, very urgent ticket, and the medium ticket. So if I just try to save now, maybe I say access to application, then you can say, can have this as the description. Then I say very urgent, and our category is hardware, our subcategory is, we say software. Then you can say antivirus. So if I create, we are now having an issue. There is something that we removed. You see, we are not allowing users to select the status. The reason behind is we want every time you create a ticket, a status is already assigned to it. So how do we do that now? So on our create action, we should always get the variable, say pending status. So this will always be all the tickets that were created by the users should be assigned pending status. And you can say here system codes details. Then you can say dot include. You can also say, so let me just do here one dot per line rule so that you are able to follow. So if we just say here include, then you are going to include all the, you are going to include the system code. So system code. Then after that, I want us also to do dot where. So we don't want to get all the options. So I'll say x equals to x dot. So here I'll say system code dot code. So here system code dot code, we want only the options for. So here we want only the options for system codes. So I'll open it on a new tab, and you can see we want only the options for status. So I'll just now take only the filter for status, and I can say dot. So we can actually even get the first one. So you can do here where dot that is that, and you can also do and. Sorry. So we can do and x dot code. So we can only get maybe the pending status alone. So if you go back here on our system codes, we can actually get the statuses for pending. You see this? So you can say dot code is equals to pending. So this will give us the first status for pending. So we can say and first dot default. So this will give us only the first status. And now we can be able to assign this pending status. So we can call this pending status. So once we have this status, we can now assign our status. You can see our priority is that. Then our status, we can always say this is status. Here we can do, you can now do here status.id. Status.id. But now, you see this status, it is actually getting the values from our system code details. So I also want us to modify that. So if you go to our priority, you see what we did with our priority. You can always do that with status as well. So you can say this is status ID, then this is our int, then we ensure that the status also is getting the values from our priority. So that is status. So we can always take this and have it on our view model. Remember, we had our view model here. So I'm going to add it on our status. So that is the ticket status. So I'm going to replace this here. So I'll just do away with this. We just remain with status. So this status ID, remember on our tickets, we also be showing, so we need to remove the errors like this one. We need to indicate status ID. And this one is also status ID. I don't know if we had the status ID. So that is it. So then under create, I think we had removed that. Under delete, if we have status, we should always have a status ID. Then under details, we can do that again. We have the status ID. Then edit, we also need to have the status ID here. So let's just do that. And we can rebuild so that we see if there's any errors because we've just, so let's stop the project. So if we rebuild, we should check if we have any errors on our project. So we have an error. So let's just see which kind of error is that. So this one. So this one should be status ID. So now our status ID should always take the status of pending status. Now, after that, remember we've changed our status ID. We need to ensure that we don't have any data in our table. So just remove everything. And I'm going to also remove everything here. So I'm going to now add the migrations. I'm going to add the migrations, clear this. Then I'll also add migrations for, we can call these now status, ticket, status, details. So if I press enter, our ticket status details file will be generated with all the migrations. So we've now altered our status column to ensure that it is a foreign key from the system code details. So you can see we have the status ID and this has been changed now to status ID. So if I do update database, so that is it. Our status update database will be generated and everything will be updated to our table. So as you can see, everything is okay. Then after that, we can now try to create our project. So let's just launch our project and we can have a breakpoint on our tickets controller. So if we have a breakpoint here, let's just add a breakpoint so that you see what happens. So if I create a now login and create a ticket, I should be able now to create. So there we go. So if I do tickets, add new ticket. So I'll choose here, say access to application. Then, so I'll say application here. So that is it. So this is the description. I can choose it's say very urgent. Category is software. Then here we have antivirus. So if I click create, you see it is taking us to this particular area. So if I proceed, I step in, so you'll be able to see we have a status. And the status is pending. This is the ID, and this is the system code, and everything is there. So our system code is system ticket status, and this is the status. So if we proceed, our project will be able to create this particular ticket. So let's just proceed. You can see our ticket has been created. So, but now there is one thing that I want us to see. So here, you see this particular table, we can remove some of the things. I think we can just remove the description for now because the title says, so let's just remove the description on that table. It's becoming long. So let me remove the description here. And we can remove the description as well at the top here. So if we do that, update our data, our application, then you should get this particular table a bit. So let's just see. There we go. So, but now you can see you have the title, access, status, and priority. The status and priority are integers. So we need to ensure we are now displaying the values. So to do that, you know what we need to do. So let's just go to our tickets controller under index action. Then I'm going to include two things. I'm now going to include the priority. So here we do priority, and also I'll do status. So if we have that, then we should be able to have now our status and priority. So I'm going to do here now under index, I'm going to do status. Instead of status ID, I'll do status. Then, so this should be status ID. Then down here, we can do status dot title, description I mean. Then priority again, we can do status, that is priority. Then we can do dot description. So that will give us the names of the codes. So let's just relaunch our app again. So we are going to relaunch the app again, and we'll be able to see all the details. So if I just sign in, you'll notice that I now have our tickets, and you can see we have this particular information. But now on our dashboard, you see we are missing the status and priority. But if I go to tickets here, you'll see I have the pending ticket and the very urgent tickets. So those are the options that we have. So here, I can now copy the tickets. So under index, let me just take the tickets categories here, and I'm going to copy this and have them on our dashboard. So where is it? Under home. So I'm going to have them here. So if I have them there, then I'll say this is variable tickets. So that is our dashboard. Then we can now include on our home dashboard, we want to see all those information. So I'll just come here and now say status, then dot description. Then for the ticket, I'll also do dot description. So if we launch our app now, we should now be able to see all those particular information. So let's just launch our app and see. So for those who are watching these videos and you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Like our video, comment down below in case you like the video and the project we are doing. And if you feel you need to contribute to our videos and our channel, one way of doing that is by subscribing, and you can also buy us coffee. We can really appreciate. So if we add a new ticket, so let's just say hardware challenges. So if we do that, I can also do this. Then if I choose a priority, I say very urgent category is hardware, then I can say it is actually hard disk. So if I create, then you can see now I have my statuses. So I can also add another one, say Windows. So if I just type that Windows licensing, so then I can say it is very urgent, I say it's software, and I can say maybe something else. So you can create sub options. Then after that, I can also create a comment. So if I just go and say maybe what type of Windows. So you can do that, and I can say this is Windows issues. Sorry, and if I create it, I'll see I have my comments. So if you come to the tickets and just access the comments and this section, you'll notice that you're able to see all the comments for that particular ticket. So now when we are creating our comments, you can see we are now able to attach the title, the description, the priority, and the status. So you can say here, antivirus, then I can say antivirus installations, then I can say urgent. Then if I do urgent, then I say this is software, then you can see antivirus installation. If I click on it, then I'm able to see the tickets. Then I can add a comment. So if I just choose comment and add it, so I can say here so I'll say so I'll say install antivirus for macro code. So this is our comment. So I'll just say install antivirus for macro code, and you can say the ticket is that. And if we click on it, you're able to see we have these comments. But now, these comments, you're able to see all of them. But what happens if we go to the ticket? I can just go to that particular ticket, and if I click comments, I can only see the comments for that particular ticket. So that is it on how you are able now to link our tickets to the statuses and even to the categories and even to the subcategories. So if you are following this video and you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing, like our video, comment down below, and in case you want to support our channel, you can always buy us coffee, and we will really appreciate. So that is it for today. See you in our next video. Bye.